Yeah, you better get to bed. What? I didn't say you did.
Well, I
Uh-huh.
guess we're on. This is FOA Chat Live on Google Hangouts, and I'm Paul FOA. And today I have with me Coral C and Priory from the Alliance. Let's see if I
Hi.
can get something going here. Uh, this is all new to us, so it's going to take us a while to get ourselves organised and get things going. Ah, there we go. That was a lousy start, but still, all right. I hope everyone's heard everything so far. What we're going to do today is just have a bit of a discussion and talk about a few things that are alliance orientated. And why can't I get rid of this screen? Okay, kill that. These are all teething problems working with liveness. Okay, so we've got a few things to talk about. The first thing that is on my agenda is we were going to talk about others opening salvages in our area. This came up because a lot of alliances left Sector 7 where we are. Yes, we're a Sector 7 alliance, been here for many years. And it's very sparse in the oceans of Sector 7 at the moment, so there's guys coming down from different areas to grab all our salvages because we've got anything up to 75s in our area. And it's becoming a bit of a problem. We go out to get some salvages and they're either gone or they're already opened, and if someone's trying to level up, of course, you've got to go out, you've got to collect the salvages first, which, you know, real problem, fill up your warehouses. Anyway, what do you think about it, Coral C?
Well, yeah, if you open up your own self, just pick them up if you can. It makes it a little easier for everybody else. That's what I'm thinking about it. And if you need the space, if you have the space, pick up the ones that's open already. I mean, keep the cities clean so we can start ranking up our ships too.
Yeah, we really can't force people to
No, I'm not saying I'm not going to
abide
force
by
it,
our
but you
rules.
can. It doesn't matter if your warehouses are full or not. If somebody's going to hit you, they're going to come in and hit you anyway.
Yeah.
I keep my warehouses full. Mine's are cubes. I've been cubed for over 2 months. Oh.
What about you, Priory?
Well, I mean, I've been leveling up a lot of my ships, the same as what Frank has. And to be honest with you, I'll tend to leave the cargoes out for a little while before I pick them up, just in case anybody else needs them. It's looking as if there's a lot of people around us who need res, and they're picking them up as we open them. There is times when you come out and you're looking to rank up your ships, get your alliance points, and you come out and there's no res, and you've got to start picking it up. If that's the case, then so be it. But it's just taking longer for them to respawn.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, the
I mean,
guys,
I'll always put a message out saying that anything that I've got, if I don't need it, any res that I've opened, I'll say that it's there for other people to take it. If I don't put the message out, then obviously I must need it.
well, I
Yeah.
don't know where everybody else is going to go because if you look around Sector 7, they're in such
Yeah.
small groups, if any groups at all, that, you know, they get one or two salvages around the base, so they're going to come our way, I guess. I mean, they all have been. I guess we just have to put up with it. Frank?
Yeah, we're gonna have to just put up with it. That's it. That's it. If you want to rank up your ships, you gotta clean up behind them, and that's it. That's all there's to it. I mean, I'm not gonna argue over it, and that's over salves, something
Yeah.
stupid like that.
It's just
But
annoying when one person keeps clearing all the cells out all the time.
Yeah.
Just the one person over and over and over and over again.
yeah, I know what you're saying. We all know who that is. But now, I mean,
Well,
I just pick them up.
yeah, I mean, I've had, there's a number of times I've come out of my base ready to go and hit salvages, and I've got 2 auto fleets now and a fleet that I'm busy trying to level up. And you come out and there's loads of res opened everywhere. There's nothing left for you to open. You've got to collect it. There's nothing else we can do.
Yeah, exactly. Even if you collect the ones around your base, the ones around your base will spawn. So that's what I normally do. You know,
Yeah.
and it usually works that way. They come back
Mm.
pretty quick.
There was an idea that I had a while back, whether obviously used to agree with it, was we'll have an account that everybody's got access to from the Alliance. If there's any open salvages, you can log on, go and pick them up, dump them in the base, and then if you're in a rush to get anything, just go and hit it with a base fleet. The only problem you've got there is if somebody from another alliance comes and hits it, then they'll know. Do you know what I mean? They'll be able to take that free res.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be
Have
farming
like a
it.
group, yeah, like a group, like an alliance base where if you need res quickly, you can go and collect it. But it's a case of having to keep that topped up so there's enough there for everybody to use.
Oh yeah, true, true, true. And that'd be hard too to keep that filled with the ships. You know what I'm saying? You have to have ships in there to
Yeah.
be able to open res fast.
Yeah, it's
Well,
not.
You know what I'm saying?
you don't have to sort of open it. I mean, we can open it with our fleets, and then just log onto somebody be logged onto there, just go out and collect it. The only problem you've got is you can't hit it until it's going to be a level 50. So it's going to take a while for
Exactly.
it to get to that point.
Yeah, exactly. That's true too. Yep. And it'd be a while before you get the ships decent enough to haul all that stuff too.
Yeah,
Like
true.
like the like the hammerheads, the super fortresses, and all that. If you want to get the super fortress to handle all that stuff, you're gonna need the ships to do the raids to get that ship.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
somebody's got to be willing, and somebody's got to be willing to do it on that base. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I don't think it's practicable. It's too late now in the game anyway to start doing things like that.
Yeah, I think it is too. Actually, it's a good idea. Don't get me wrong. It's
Yeah,
a
it's
good
been done
idea.
before.
Yeah, it's been done before. I
Mm.
had that idea about a couple of years ago, but I wasn't part of the alliance then. So it's a good idea. It's impractical right now. The way the game is going, it's who knows? In a couple months, this game will be shut down. Who the hell knows?
Yeah, okay, so we really can't do much about it then. What I've been doing is I noticed that one of the guys that comes up, Borg, he collects or opens the 51s, and he has been leaving the higher ones and the elites. So
Yeah,
I've been collecting those, and it's pretty easy for me anyway. So that's one way I'm getting around it.
yeah. It's pretty easy for me to collect them myself, so it doesn't matter to me.
Mm.
I just collect them. But if
And there's
somebody's
always
on and
someone who will
wants them,
collect
I'll
them for
just
them.
collect them. Yeah, if somebody's on who wants them, like Muslim when he wanted res, so I let him collect them. Plus the ones I opened. When he stopped, I just collected the ones I already opened. So
Okay.
it's something we have to deal with. Nothing you can really do about it.
I know, but they're starting to come from all over the place now. That's the problem. They're even coming down from Sector 6.
Yeah. Yeah,
All
right.
right, well, we'll leave that one. What I'll do now is I'll do a shout out to all the guys who's leveled up this week. So congrats to all the FOA militia members who have leveled up in alphabetical order. Blackbeard, who's now 44. Black Wolf, 58. Chad E, 53. Coral C, you Frank, of course, 72. Easy, 56. Icky's leveled up to 65. Forsaken Joker, 55. K Frank 2, 49. Kronos, 71. Mad Auto, 66. Maestro, 52. Macau's Navy, 70. Muslin, 49. Olaf L, 45. Priory, that's you, Martin, 68. Leveled up, well done. Sea Lion, 69. Stone, 62. WOT Commander, 63. And Zach, 21. GF, 41. Well done, Pirates. Okay. The next thing we're thinking of talking about, and might talk about briefly, is base designs. We've still got one or two members of our alliance who have square bases. A relic from the early days when you first start, you end up with this square in the middle of the ocean. And it develops over time into all different shapes and ideas that people have. Some good ideas, some bad ideas. The latest square base I saw was like a spider. It had these tentacles out everywhere, and it was quite an interesting base to hit because you couldn't get around it. You couldn't get all the way around in the 5 minutes. I think it was designed so that you couldn't 100% it. From the square base, we then moved to canal bases, where people found it was easier to put a wall around the sensitive parts of your base and try and defend it that way. The benefit over a square base with a canal base is, of course, you can better defend the entrance. With a square base, you have to space all your turrets out all 4 corners. And that's really hard to defend because you don't have a lot of firepower when you've got to spread your turrets out so far.
Yeah. With a square base, you're not concentrating your firepower in one area.
Yeah, it became very inefficient.
Yeah, that's what's wrong with a square base.
Yeah, well, as I said, the spider base, as I call them, they work if you think it's important not to get 100%ed. It's pretty easy to get most of the base from one side. Sometimes you miss bits because you just can't quite reach. The spider base I saw the other day had a bit of a canal into it, so like a bay, so I was able to go in there and get to most of the base. Still didn't 100% it though.
Yeah,
canal bases, yeah. Canal bases, I call them the different shapes, an S shape, or a which is the canal shape, or a spiral, and a spiral is also a half moon. So that's what I call them. I don't know what other people call them, but the spiral base, it's like a nautilus spiral. It gets smaller as it goes into the center. Half moon is just a smile in the S shape. Frank, you got any comments on base designs?
Yeah, this is my base right here. That's my base, and it worked well for me. And the canal bases are the best to go because you got concentrate your firepower all in one area where the entrance is. and they're trying to get to your outpost and to do and get to your warehouses. But so much res beyond, they really don't concern about protecting your warehouses anymore, really. But the outpost has got to be protected, and it concentrates your firepower on one area where you know, saying with square base, you got corners you got to protect, and you're not protecting really nothing. You're not even doing no damage to them, really. So that's about all I got.
Martin, do you want to make a comment?
Well, to be honest with you, I think the way things are going at the minute, it's about sort of damage limitation. With some of the weapons that they're bringing out now,
Yeah,
it's
true.
more a case of not getting 100%. It's a case of how can you limit them to taking as much as as they can. Like, if you don't want them to take your res, put your warehouses somewhere where they can't get hit. Or, I mean, obviously the likes of Frank's base and my base. At the point now, I'm thinking, well, I'm going to get 100% at some point along the line. It's a case of it's going to happen now. There's not a lot I can do about it. So just try and dish as much damage out to you. Sorry, dish as much damage out to them as you can do. Otherwise, they're just going to keep coming back, and basically you'll end up being a farm. But if you can give them a lot of damage, then they might think twice about coming back.
That's my general idea. You give them a lot of damage, they may think twice about coming back. I mean, I get 100% of it. Don't get me wrong. I get 99%, 96%, but they leave hurting. They leave with at least 3 or 4 ships dead in my base.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, with the time difference, obviously between myself and yous, I'm never on now. Well, I think 9 times out of 10, I'm never on when I get hit. So it's a case of now I'm going to have to do what I can to give them as much damage as I can. But you've seen my base, you've seen it in action, and to me, I do that. I'm
Yeah,
still going to get
exactly.
100%ed. So, and there's a few times I actually think people have been in, and both Graham and yourself, Frank, have both commented that, you know, that base should have done a hell of a lot more damage to those fleets than what it actually did.
Yeah, yep.
So, they're going to find some way of getting around it. Whether they're cheating or not, I don't know. But whether it's just their ship builds, but there's times I've looked at playbacks and thought that should have done a lot more to it than what it's done.
Exactly. I agree.
Yeah, well, these are things that are happening because of people using other programs to enhance their ability to be able to smash bases, I guess.
Yeah, stacking armor.
I don't know if that's possible, is it?
Yes, it is. Been a couple people banned for it.
Okay.
It's a hack out there that allows them to do it.
Now, there's some base design rules I put together some time ago, and I'd like to discuss them. I'll put up a slide if I can figure out how to do it. And let's see. How did you get it up, Frank? Did it through your browser?
Huh? Yeah, just with a screen share.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get it up on full screen. It's the best I can do. I've got 2 screens and it always comes up and says, now which one do you want? It's being very cantankerous at the moment. It doesn't seem to want to do it. I think my computer's a little bit too slow. If it comes up, well and good, but this might take a while. If you're going to build a canal base, there are some basic rules that you can follow. And what do you guys think about canal bases that have an island in the middle that you can get that has water all the way around it? Frank?
I would not give them that choice to go either way. I mean, I don't like that idea.
Yeah, no, either do I. If you've got two different ways to go, then it gives the attacker a choice. And once again, like a square base, if attacker has a choice to go around to the left or the right, he'll go the way that's least defended, and the same with an island in the middle of a canal base. When he gets to the point where he's got to make a decision on which direction he's going to go, he's obviously going to go in the direction of least resistance. And therefore, if you've got an island in the middle of the canal base, theoretically you're going to have to defend all the four corners of it, and once again you've got a little mini square base. So I don't think, as you said, Frank, it's not a good idea.
I just put some the base design pictures up there on my screen share. Can you guys see them?
Yeah, they're the ones I was just looking at. Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about, the first one.
Yeah.
The second one, my screen won't even switch. You might like to discuss the second one while I get myself organised, Frank.
Bends or have two equal segments long attackers go straight. Yeah, more bends you have in your base so attacker don't have to go straight, better off you are. I mean, he has to turn, he has to take time to turn. You know, and
yeah,
if he has an opportunity to go straight, I mean, he just goes straight in fast and go. I mean, his mortars are outrun you. Your hell outrun your mortars or brimstones or halos, wherever you have in your base for that effect. This was a level 44 base at the time, and he adjusted it since then.
Yeah.
But you know, the more turns you have in your base, the better. I know I have a straight canal, but I have turns too.
Yeah, I think the rule here is to have two segments in each bend. Having one segment allows a person to just go through straight on their diagonal, although it looks straight up in that diagram, it is an actual diagonal. If you've got two squares on each turn, then he can't go straight through. The ship has to actually turn and turn and turn and turn, and it slows the whole process down. Isn't that right, Martin?
It is, yeah. I mean, if anybody wants to have a look at mine, I mean, I've actually got a right-hand turn in mine. So it all depends on what you think's best, on which way you can get the layout as well. But a right-hand, small right-hand turns are probably your best bet, rather than having, like they said, a diagonal like there was there.
Yeah.
And the next one, Frank?
Oh, the next one, place resource platforms outside your base canal that can be sniped before getting to the turret's range, which is true, but sometimes now we do it anyway just for cannon fire. It doesn't slow them down anyway.
Not these days, I guess, but the whole point there is that if the first oil rig can be reached without being fired upon, then it's a waste of time. It'll just die and they'll move on to the next one. So the theory there is that if your first oil rig is far enough in the canal that the attacking fleet can't get to it until they are under fire, then it's serving a useful purpose of delaying that ship a little, and also it will take damage that won't be dispensed on a turret.
That is true.
So I think that's the reason there. Martin?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, again, sorry, Graham, but I mean, I've actually got 4 of them outside, and again, that's basically so they can't 100% me base. You know, it's hard to say now with base building. It's at the time, obviously, there wasn't the weapons that there is now. Things have changed, and I'm not saying that what you're saying is wrong, but it's getting to the point now where, again, it's damage limitation. It's try and get them as least damage as possible.
Yeah, of course. No, what I was talking about was the first oil rig in the canal. If you've got oil rigs out to sea to stop people or to impede them getting 100%, that's perfectly legitimate use for an oil rig, and I do it myself. I've got 2 out. But I'm just saying the first one, as they get into the canal, if it's outside the area where the attacking fleet will be hit by your land-based turrets, then it's might as well not be there. Okay, and there was another one, wasn't there, Frank?
Yep. No need to put labs on the island where the segment of land could be used some results.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Depends on how big your island is. I've seen islands with just the outposts on them. And of course, their warehouses are on the wall, outer wall. I was able to fit one lab on my island, plus the launcher. The launcher, because it takes ages to repair.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta redo mine so I can put that launcher on the pad on the island. Getting tired of that damn thing taking 20 some odd hours to repair. But now, if you, like my level and Graham's level, and now probably Martin now too, your labs are no more important anymore. They're 10-second repairs. Anyway, once you hit repair button, and I'm not researching nothing in those labs anyway anymore. My researches are done, except for a retrofit lab.
Well, this is the difference now between what it was when we started. Your labs are taking 10 seconds to repair. It's next to nothing. Whereas when we first started, you know, it was 4, 5, 6 hours, something like that, to repair one of those labs. So that was time wasted every time you got hit. Now it's literally 10 seconds and you're back up and running again. So use them as a distraction for their fire.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, the guys coming up now have it easier than what we had. I mean, I had to sometimes wait 6 hours for my research to start going again. So, everything has changed. Everything, the game is evolving. Which evolves with a dock gets 10-second repair.
Well, that's the thing as well. I mean, they've even reduced the research times for some of these hulls and weapons, so you know it's not as important as what it was. I mean, if we'd be a lot higher level if it was the same back then as what it is now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, true. Yeah, true.
All right. Well, those 4 rules are pretty basic, but they seem to explain themselves, and they're in our file section on the militia page for anyone to revisit and to just check out.
Well, actually, they're in the photo. They're in photos.
Ah, sorry, they're in the photo section. Yes. Yeah. Now there was another document I wanted to talk about. It is in the files section, and it was the base building rules. These are 16 rules I put together some time ago, and asked people to see if how many of those rules they could apply to their base. And we'll go over these again. I quickly looked at them last week and updated them a little bit. They may or may not apply these days. And it's called the do's and don'ts for building bases. And in brackets I've got get 8 out of 16 or less and you're a farm. So there you go. It's got a check anyway. Don't be tempted to keep a square base. Rule number 1. Canal bases are safer. Don't have more than one canal entrance, because I've seen more than one canal entrance, and there again you're giving someone a choice. Yeah, yeah, and you're giving someone a choice of where they want to enter, and they'll always enter where there's the least amount of resistance. And it's easy to protect one entrance. Do have an island in the middle of your base, not just having a circle with nothing in the middle. If you've got an island and you put things on that island, it stops sniping from the outside of the wall. That assumes, of course, that you have a canal that's at least 3 squares wide. Don't have an island with no connection to the outer wall. I think we discussed that earlier. That means don't have an island with water all the way around it in the middle, because you don't want to give them a choice of direction, and you can better defend when you know where they're going to go. Do have lots of turns in the canal. We discussed that earlier too. It takes time out of the 5 minutes during their attack, and occasionally attacker may hit a wall if they've got a really bad turning circle on their fleet. It slows them down. It's always good. Do have 2 land square turns. Yeah, we discussed that. Makes them steer their ships through, although these days an attacker can just click on the back of the base and just let it go in order. This seems to be the way of doing things these days, which is pretty ordinary. Do have warehouses and your outposts on the island. Well, outposts definitely. If you want to put your warehouses on the outer wall, don't come crying when someone takes them. Launch pad could be included because it takes so long, as we've already discussed. Don't clutter your island with labs, as explained earlier. Do have the dock in the 4th or 5th land square if you can. We're using the land square as a unit of measurement here, so that it doesn't get sniped from outside. With some designs you can't do that. You have to work to try and get that rule into effect. Do have 2 wall thicknesses in front of turrets. Frank, why would we have 2 wall segments in front of our turrets?
It's for ballistic defense, in case they're running with ballistic weapons. They can't break through the walls as fast. We get to the turrets. Sometimes it helps with rockets too, the hell strikes too. More walls they have to break through, it takes more time.
Another thing I've noticed along the way is don't have more than 2 turrets together without a double wall between. You know why that is, Martin?
I believe it's got, well, especially nowadays, it's more to do with the shockwave that you're getting off these impulse launchers. You know, you take damage, one turret takes damage off one of their fleets, and that shockwave, those walls are going to protect the rest of your turrets.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Back then when this rule was applied was for pinch rockets. But now it's for the impulse launchers.
Yeah, well, pinchers are still around.
Oh yeah, pinchers are still around, but the impulse launchers are now...
Yeah, they're more prevalent, that's for sure.
So now the impulse launchers are doing more damage now with the shockwave damage.
Yes, exactly. This rule, don't put all resource generators outside your canal. Well, look, that's been superseded, because if you want to try and impede being 100%ed, we'll usually put an oil rig or two outside, or even more. Put your first oil rig in the canal where the attacker must be within the turret range, as what I've mentioned. Because anything that hits a res gen or a lab or a wall, it's not hitting your turrets, so that's always good. And it makes the 5 minutes go quicker.
Hit the wrong button. Damn it.
You hit the wrong button. I haven't got one of those on my keyboard.
Oh, I'm having a little trouble with my computer right now.
Do put res gens on the walls around the canal entrance. Yeah, that's probably useful if they're inside further. If they're on the outside, they'll just get sniped away. Anyone who preps your base will sweep them away before they even try and attempt the canal. And do put your research labs in the line of fire so that they take some damage and less damage to your turrets. Now, what about canal fleets, guard fleets? You got anything to talk about on that, Frank?
Yeah, the best fleet I've found is ballistic fleets, because they do faster damage than missiles or mortars. And ballistic weapons are good for, but now with the impulse launchers, now they'll outrange your ballistic weapons unless you have a Goliath with chain guns, which has basically the same range as the impulse launchers.
Martin?
Also, too, rockets, too. Threshers or anything with a rocket, like the Leviathan A, could rush. If you're on, you could rush them with your rockets with a lot of evade.
Yeah, you can, if you're on, you could use your Spectres as well. I mean, they're another ones that are starting to take, especially if you're online. If you're not online, I wouldn't bother, but if you're online, Spectres will take virtually any fleet out.
Oh yeah, yep. Or any sub, actually.
Yeah.
I've seen Stalkers, believe it or not.
Yeah, I've had stalkers in my base from time to time, in my base canal. Of course, I guess there's two considerations when you're putting a canal guard together, and in that, are you going to be able to be there when someone's attacking, or are you going to have to let it all go on auto?
Exactly. That's the thing. You want to set your base up when it's on auto, because most generally the time you're not attacked when you're online. A lot of times I'm not online when I'm attacked, so I have Goliaths, 3 Goliaths as my best defense fleet, plus a Hurricane with Piranha drones on it. And I do have a battlecruiser in there with Piranha depth charges on it, in case I am online. So, but not everybody has Goliath. If you can get the Goliath in the campaign missions, I would try for it.
Yeah, it's very handy. Martin?
Well, I mean, mine, I've got three ballistic ships. I've got a Piranha Hurricane in there, and I've also got a Triton with the new UAVs on. So, yeah. I think, obviously, the range of the UAVs is the main one, because they outrange everything now. And a lot of people, because of the Javelins, because of the Halos, they're setting their attack ships up more with ballistic and missile defense rather than mortar. So you could possibly try for an explosive one, the likes of the rockets and mortars, especially the salt mortars, you
Yeah.
might find that they work well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I must admit I've put a Harlux carrier in my canal at the moment with the UAVs on it. That seems to have a reasonable amount of effect. I can remember ages ago Stephenstone used to have a killer seawolf in his canal, and if he was able to pilot it, he caused a lot of havoc. This was before.
That's with rockets on it too.
Yeah, this is before UAVs.
I remember that.
And all
Yeah, he had a
before
lot of
the
EV on
Model
there.
2s.
He
But it
had
didn't do
rockets
much
on
for
it.
me either. Go on,
But
Frank.
the thing is, with the Seawolf, what it is now with the Chaos mortars, with the on the Brimstone, on the Berserkers, they have no minimum range. If you get a fast enough Seawolf back in the day where you had Dread X's, you get a fast enough Seawolf, you can get in that donut hole of the mortars and just wreak havoc with rockets with that Seawolf. But nowadays with the Grimshines, they don't have with the Chaos mortars, which you don't have a donut hole. It's kind of hard, you know. Plus, when they take damage, they go berserk.
Literally.
So some people are not even running base guards anymore, just whatever. What the ships are nowadays. Personally, I'd rather have a base guard. I mean, I'd rather do the repairs on it. I'd rather give them damage and then just do no damage to them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's your option. If you want to run a base guard, it's your option. You don't run one, don't. Fine. Don't come crying to me when your base gets hit, though.
Yeah. Martin?
I'm sort of the same as Frank. I mean, there are people that aren't putting base cards out at the minute, but that's their choice. I would rather do as much damage as I can. It's either going to cost them coin or it's going to cost them time to repair. That time, if they don't coin, is time when it's not going to hit somebody else. So the more
Exactly.
damage you give them, the better it's going to be.
Yeah, well, I guess our strategy as far as base defense is concerned is that we're more of a defensive group of people rather than an offensive group. We are not rushing out to kill bases. We more importantly
Yeah,
sit back and wait for them to come to us.
because most of us are non-coiners, and we can't not coin our repairs. I cannot lose a fleet in a base and take 30 hours to repair it or repair the fleets I used. I mean, then you're not playing the game. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather have my base do the damage to them, which is easier repaired than my fleets. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, yes, of course.
I have 152 medals. Most of them came from base designs, not base hits.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, look, we'll just finish off this topic with just a challenge to the guys in the alliance to grab hold of that document in the file section on the militia page, run through it, see how many of the 16 points your base qualifies for, and see if you're a farm or not. Okay. I'd like to talk a little bit more about FOA's approach to playing this game because, as Frank just alluded to, we are not coiners. We do have some people who spend a bit of money, and I'll spend $10 here and there, but I'm not going to be rushing around doing base attacks and getting all my fleets damaged. The other day, my base was attacked, and the guy died at the end of my base canal. He took home from dying in my base 80 mil in res, and I think he got 2 medals, which I think is just ludicrous. When you consider my base didn't do anything, it was just sitting there. This guy was the attacker. he gets to die in the bait. He gets 80 mil to repair his fleet. He gets 2 medals to jangle at his mates. My base guard went out. It took me 14 hours to repair the base guard at an expense of 9 million. And my dock was out for 2 hours. I couldn't play. And all that because I did nothing. I don't think that's really the way you should be able to play a game. Martin?
No, I mean, I've been in the same situation. I've logged on. I've had to wait 2 hours to repair my dock. Then I've had to spend time waiting for my base card to finish repairing. I mean, I think mine's close to about 14 hours now. Obviously, the more I play, the more I'll add to it. I'll change the armor, so it could end up being longer. It's got to the point now where, again, it boils down to the fact all I want to do is give them as much damage as I possibly can, and as long as it costs them, at the end of the day, it's going to cost me more because I'm going to lose res. I'm going to have to pay for res to repair my fleets. But I just want to give them as much damage as I can now. It doesn't seem... For me, it's more of a... I can't think of the word I'm looking for. Basically, just cause as much damage as I can.
Yeah, I understand. Frank?
I'm on the same wavelength as Martin. Do as much damage as you can to them, so that way they think twice about coming back to your base. And if you kill their fleet in your base, all well and good. Res nowadays is easy to get. I can replace the res, no problem. It's just, like I said, my warehouses are cubes, so I always have resources enough to repair my fleet, so that does not bother me. But I like to cause damage. I like to do damage to them before. And I don't know if anybody's seen that video Martin did on my base. I killed a proto-nemesis in my base. So that's why I'm saying base defense to me is number one.
Yeah, I guess that's the way we'll be leaning these days.
The way I look at it is, so if they die in your base and they've got no ships left, they've got no health on them, then why on earth should they be taking stuff away with them?
Exactly. I have not. That from day one, I agree with you. They should not be getting nothing. They should be going home with nothing.
Yeah, well, that was the point here.
They died in your base, and you give them 80 million whatever res, and the 2 medals and they got bragging points, but yet they died. You know what I'm saying? What do you get? A bubble?
Yeah, that's wrong. I reckon that's wrong.
Me personally, if I die in somebody's base, I should lose that hull.
Well, that's a bit dramatic. That's a bit drastic.
Hey, I'm sorry. That's the way I think. Not dramatic.
Yeah, but you know yourself that.
I know that's not going to be possible.
It's a fleet, not one ship. And if they lose a whole fleet in your base and they lose it altogether, that can be 2 months' work. That would be devastating.
Like we don't play too much building fleets.
Well, if I was running this show, I'd be trying to make it more that people could play more. I don't understand the theory behind a base being attacked, and that's a sedentary thing. A base is not an aggressive thing. And the dock is out for 2 hours, which stops the player from playing the game. As we all know, we've all got limited amount of times to play this game. And as Martin said, you come on and you want to play the game, and your dock's out for 2 hours because you got attacked overnight or when you weren't on.
Exactly.
It seems counterproductive to me, and I can understand the theory behind it. And the simple theory is that kicks I want money. That's a given. But it's counterproductive in playing the game. It stops the person from playing. What can you do? You sit there and look at the screen for 2 hours? I guarantee you most people go away and play another game if gameplay is what they want. Silly.
That's what I do.
If I was running this whole show, I'd get rid of that repair time, and I'd get rid of ship repair time altogether. No dock repair time, no ship repair time. All you have to do is bring your ships back to base, and they're instantly repaired, and you can go back out again. All right, I would lose a bit of money if I was Kixeye, but the gameplay would counter all that. You'd go out more often, and you'd attack bases more often, and you'd incur other costs along the way,
Exactly.
which would probably be more than what you'd get out of repairing a dock for 2 hours with 4 coins, and repairing your fleet. So I don't know why Kixeye haven't stumbled upon this very simple thing that could absolutely revitalize this game and make it a game that's playable, rather than huge expenses of time wasted doing nothing while things repair.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, well,
you stumbled on the fact before. It's because they want money. They've got too greedy too quick.
yeah. But what
That
I'm
too.
saying is that they're still going to get money. They'll get money. They'll get more money in other ways through the gameplay than getting money through stalling a person and making them wait if they're not going to coin. If a person's not going to coin, they're not going to coin. There's no matter what Kixeye does, they will just stop playing the game for 2 hours, and that's counterproductive. If that person can be out playing, he can be damaging coiners' fleets, and the coiners will pay. So the money's going to flow in anyway. I guarantee you more money would flow in from free players attacking coiners, and the coiners paying because we know they do, than trying to squeeze the free players into coining, because it's not working.
Yeah, but if you've got fleets that are going to be repaired as soon as you bring them back to base, what are the coiners going to coin? Because they can't coin the repairs because it's free now. And you know yourself, Graham. I'm not saying it's a bad idea, but you know yourself. How many times have we been up here trying to defend our alliance's bases with a group of alliance that coins? You
Yeah.
yourself know that you've seen the same fleet come back 3 or 4 times within the space of an hour and hit bases. If
Yeah.
the free people don't want to pay, then that's up to them. But that the reason why the repair times are there is for the coiners, so they can repair those fleets and come straight back.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. True.
Well, they could reduce the time considerably, so it would be just
Yeah.
an inconvenience rather than an actual sort of delaying tactic. Um, Even if they
I
made
think
it
you would
10
probably,
minutes.
yeah, I think you would probably find that there would be more people would probably coin the repairs on the fleets if it was cheaper.
Well, what if you made the repair time 10 minutes and it was just as expensive to repair as it would have been today, for argument's sake, if your fleet was normally going to take 10 hours and it was going to cost you, 20 gold, make it 10 minutes for 20 gold. They still get the coin, but all the 10 minutes would be is to stop you spamming.
Yeah. No,
I
true
mean,
that.
there's got to be a better way around doing the way that they're doing. They're having to coin the repairs on your fleets and stuff like that. But it's just getting it to the point where it's ideal for the people who want to use it for free, and it's ideal for the coiners. And somewhere in the middle, probably half in your repair times is probably going to be better than what we've got at the minute.
Yeah, Frank?
I agree. There's no way around getting without repair time. But I wish they reduce them by great numbers. It
Yeah.
takes 10 hours. 10 hours right now to repair my dreads. Takes 15 and a half hours to repair my SCXs if they're dead. I mean, do I really want to go out and hit a base and lose them for Christ's sake and get to come back with that kind of repair time? No.
No, of course not. And I don't think a lot of coiners coin for too long either because it just gets so expensive.
And if you use your, like say, you use your specters to prep, there's another 11 and a half hours if you get
Easy.
them damaged. Yeah. Like the other day, I was taking on a dredge fleet. Nobody told me about the 75s, so I went into a 75 dredge, with my specters. Oh, they can see me. I almost lost the whole fleet. That's 11. That's 10 and a half hours. You know. Then I almost lost my whole XCX fleet to take the whole thing out. That's 15 and a half hours. So I was down for 30 hours with my specters and SCX, my two best fleets.
Yeah, yeah, I know the problem. All right, well, we better start finishing up, I suppose. We've done
Yeah,
55 minutes. That's a surprise.
yeah, really.
Anything else in particular? Anything current that needs to be
No, not really.
aired a bit? Everything's cool. Maybe there's
Yeah.
some alliances coming back to 7 that have been away for a while.
Yeah, I noticed a couple new people today. TOTC came in today. I think they've been here before. I'm not sure.
And you were talking to, I've forgotten who it was now, who's a member of Poseidon's Warriors. He said they might be coming back from 155. Is that what you heard?
Yeah, Xanadu.
Oh, that's right, yes. So well, there might be a few people around to take the burden off everyone hitting our salvages.
Yeah, right.
I wouldn't bank on that.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Well, it wouldn't be so bad if they took them so they could respawn. Anyway.
Yeah.
I mean,
All
the
right,
only
well,
other thing that we could sort of mention is the fact that if anybody's got any problems, then, we're on Ventrilo. If you can get on, try and get on. If you can't, then, message me. At the end of the day, we're all there to help, so.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep. We're there to help ask questions, and we have the answers sometimes. We've been through this game a lot.
Okay, well, we're getting very close to our hour, so we might close it at this point, and let's see if we can do another one of these maybe next week. See if we can find some more interesting things to talk about.
Okay.
Um,
Bye.
let me see what I can do now. Where's my computer? Is so slow. Can I get my screen up? Have a look. Is that going to come up? Get this coloured pinwheel of death. Okay, well, all right then. I see we've had one viewer. Thank you, viewer, whoever that was. And I'll talk to you again. This is Paul FOA, Graham, signing off. Frank?
Good night. Bye-bye.
Martin?
Good night. See you later.
Bye-bye.